where you had a lot of freedom to decide what you wanted to do and what kind of project you wanted to have over the summer. And I thought that was just really kind of liberating, that you had a lot of choice and a lot of freedom.
Because I think that there's a certain point in your academic career where you've learned things and you have the tools to do community organizing, but you've never really had the experience to do it. And I think this class offers a unique example, or a unique opportunity to do that.
And I really like the idea of taking some time to figure out what you want to do. So I love the idea of having the spring semester to sort of build a project or just figure out what organization looks right for you for a vibe. I think it's been more fun than I thought. I think just coming to class is always enjoyable because everyone is relaxed in some way because we know each other much better than most other classes do. And yeah, I guess I wasn't sure if that's where we would be at this place in time, but I really like that.
Chuck Green's been different than I expected, partially because I didn't realize how cool the class was going to be and how cool the seminar would be, because I didn't know that it was really student-led and that so we as a class have gotten to design the second half of the syllabus, and I think that that's been a really rewarding experience for me.
Class has been exciting because I don't see myself as a professor in the class. I see myself as a facilitator and also as somebody who's part of the class, learning with the students and being part of a bigger group that's not me as the teacher and them as the students.
Ropes course was cold.
Part of it started with the fact that we had this retreat the first day, and a lot of us were moaning like we're going out to do a high ropes course when it's like negative degrees outside. I don't know about this, and I'm sure we'll still moan about that.
And there were times where when we were all lying in the snow in negative degree weather and our fingers felt like they were gonna fall off and we couldn't feel our feet or most of our body, for that matter, that we wanted to give up, cry, go home, and I don't think you can get any closer to a person than being trapped 40 feet in the air on like a 2x2 platform, hugging a pole together. So
we build relationships and friendships within the class as a community, of a microcosm of a community. And I think that's something that often gets forgotten in academics and formal fellowships like this.
We're in a class where one person is really into education, another one is really into art or environment or mental health, but that's not an obstacle. We really use the space to learn more about community organizing and how the art of community organizing really applies to all of our areas as opposed to being unique to one of the things we are interested in. And that's something that I've learned a lot from, and I don't think I would have the opportunity to learn otherwise.
One of the most valuable things I think about the Chuck Green experience is, for me personally, I have been able to communicate and get to know people that I probably wouldn't under any other circumstance, and I mean that in the best way possible. But it's really challenged my ideology and has made me a little more flexible in my own skin, and so that's been really great.
So it's important that we know how to have fun together and talk to each other, not just through texts and readings, and not just about like our projects this summer either, but also integrating whatever else we're interested in. Because I think that's going to be vital to getting the most out of our summer experience and being together right now.
The team service projects proved to be both an illuminating and frustrating project at times.
My most interesting Chuck Green experience thus far has been interviewing people in Union Park and finding out that people around here really don't know their neighbors that well. Or coming from a rural area, everyone in a 20-mile radius knows every household who lived there the last 20 years, and I'm asking opinions like, what do you think of the rental house, of the college students that live in the rental house? And I get to the house across the street. Yes, this house is aware that there's a rental house across the street. go house down, that house is aware there's a rental house across the street. I get to 3 houses away and across the street, and they have no idea. They're like, what rental house? And I'm going, you don't know there's a rental house 3 houses down across the street?
Within a community, even one like Union Park, where a lot of the kids go to the same schools, there are so many differing ideologies and thoughts about what a community is and how communities should interact with one another and how neighbors should treat each other.
The most effective way that we found was over spring break. Rhea and I took a bus trip down Longfellow, and we had pinpointed a couple of organizations that we really wanted to, and so we just knocked and said, hello, we have these questions, would you mind answering them? And if you don't, we won't leave. And so it was a very illuminating experience in that, because we're supposed to, as Chuck Green Fellows, invest in the community and engage with the community. And through this kind of microcosm of a project that will, I think, reverberates into the summer, at least I found out that our undertakings for the summer are not going to be nearly as straightforward as I perhaps erroneously considered before.
Lucky just to have just one.
It was difficult because it was such an overwhelming task to try to figure out, first of all, a project that was feasible and that that you could feel like had a productive end result, and to think about something that would make you happy and feel like you were making change going to it every single day. And it was also just overwhelming to think about contacting organizations and figuring out which organizations shared your goals and which organizations were feasible partners. Well, this summer I'm going to be working with an organization that organizes civic education programs for middle and high school students. So I guess, like, in a very simple sense, I feel like I'm going to be kind of organizing programs that are conducting the same kind of work that we've been doing in class, which is like learning about civic engagement and democratic participation.
So coming into Chuck Green, I had a whole plan about working with the youth and doing a mural with the youth, and I was really set on that goal and finding an organization that would allow me to do that. What the Minnesota Immigrant Freedom Network does is that they train college students and send them out into the high schools to tutor and help high school students, especially those who might be undocumented or not necessarily know how to make college more accessible for them and help making that possible for them. So I'm glad that they want to kind of expand from like tutoring and advising to more having an arts. Applying the arts, within the organization. So I'm really excited and looking forward to working with them.
Rare opportunities to spend the whole semester thinking about what civic engagement really is, like theoretically, and then putting it into practice later in the summer in a way that really gets the students, I think, grounded both in the, like I said, the theory and then the action as well.